When a man embarks on his journey towards semen retention and spirituality, profound changes occur within him. These changes aren't always visible to the naked eye, yet naturally intuitive women often sense them without even realizing it. In today's video, we discuss the subtle yet powerful intuition women have toward a man who is conserving his life force. It's not just about physical attraction or high testosterone. It's something much deeper, much older. Understanding this dynamic requires observing energy fields, vibrational signals, emotional maturity, and the invisible communication that takes place between souls. Women, especially those who are in tune with their feminine nature, often sense when a man is grounded in his essence, and semen retention plays a fundamental role in this anchoring. Thanks to it, a man develops not only his physical strength, but also his spiritual presence. It is to this presence that women respond. He avoids superficial words, glances, and behaviors. It is a resonance, a silent music, a gravitational force. Today, we explore how and why this happens in ways you might never have considered before. Let's dive into this hidden but profound reality. The energy signature changes. When a man practices semen retention, his energy signature undergoes a radical transformation. Most men are constantly losing their life force through indulgence, distraction, or unconsciousness. As a result, his energy appears weak, scattered, or chaotic. Conversely, a man who holds back creates a dense, coherent, and calm vibrational field. Without needing to say a word, women, naturally sensitive to energies, can perceive this denser and more grounded frequency. It's not that they consciously analyze it. It happens beneath their conscious awareness, on an instinctive level. The reserved man radiates stability. His presence is like a refuge in a noisy world. He carries within him an energy that nourishes the feminine essence. Just as the sun nourishes the earth, this energy is felt in his aura, in his calmness, in his listening and observation. In addition, the magnetic field around him intensifies. Quantum physics suggests that every human being emits an electromagnetic field through their heart. When a man practices semen retention, he strengthens the coherence of his heart, and this amplified field becomes tangible to those around him, especially women who perceive the subtle signals. They may not know why they feel different in his presence, but they do. In the modern world, where chaos and distraction are commonplace, it's rare to find a man with such grounded and vibrant energy. That's why he naturally stands out. His mere existence becomes a signal for femininity. Here is a man who carries within him an intact and fulfilling source of life. The beauty of this change lies in its impossibility of faking it. It's not about appearing confident or using psychological tricks. It's about being. And women, with their natural wisdom, intuitively distinguish between acting and being. Presence trumps performance. A man suffering from semen retention begins to prioritize presence over performance. While most men seek to impress, entertain, or conquer, the man suffering from semen retention seeks to be. This subtle change is immense. Women who often deal with men who try to seduce them with superficial gestures immediately notice the difference. When a man simply maintains his presence, calm and unchanged, presence is perceived not only in the gaze or voice, but also in the spaces between words, the silences, the naturalness, the lack of urgency. We feel it when a man listens without trying to impress, when he looks without possessing, when he speaks without needing validation. Semen retention nurtures this quality, as it teaches us to live with our own energy without constantly dissipating it. Women are particularly sensitive to presence, as it indicates a crucial element for their security and fulfillment, as well as their emotional and energetic stability. The presence of a man suggests that he is not dominated by his compulsions, that he is in control of himself. This unconscious recognition creates a sense of respect and attraction that goes far beyond physical appearance. It is important to understand that female intuition evolved for survival. Throughout evolution, women have had to discern who is trustworthy, who can provide for them, protect them, and stand firm in the face of chaos. A man who practices semen retention is subconsciously signaling, "I don't let myself go easily." This ancient instinct is still relevant, even if modern society rarely acknowledges it. So when a woman senses the presence of a man, steady, calm and collected, she feels something valuable, She senses a foundation she can rely on, and this recognition often occurs long before any rational thought arises. Body language subtly shifts. Women also intuitively sense a man practicing semen retention through his micro-expressions and body language. When a man is exhausted, his body language often becomes agitated, distracted, or subtly anxious. His gaze may dart around the room. His posture may be slumped. His energy shines through despite his restlessness. In contrast, a reserved man's body language radiates sovereignty. His movements are deliberate. His gaze is clear, firm, and natural. His gestures are minimalist yet decisive. Semen retention restores inner harmony between mind, body, and soul. And this harmony naturally manifests itself in his physical demeanor. Women perceive these micro-signals almost immediately, without even realizing it. A brief pause before speaking, a relaxed jaw, a confident gait. These signals taken together tell a story. They tell the story of a man in control of himself. And in the female subconscious, such a man is perceived as a rare gem, powerful without being predatory, strong without being oppressive. The body doesn't lie. We can repeat words, we can copy gestures, but micro-signals, small expressions, postures, breathing patterns, they all come from within. When a man's inner waters are calm and deep, his outward expression naturally reflects this truth. Thus, even before a reserved man utters a single word, women feel a silent magnetism. It's not that he's trying to act like an alpha or dominate the room. It's that he embodies self-control, and that control manifests silently in every fiber of his being. The subconscious scent of vitality. Beyond the energy and body language, there's something even more primal. The subtle biological changes in the scent of a restrained man. Science shows that humans can detect hormonal changes through smell, even without realizing it. Semen retention improves a man's hormonal balance, particularly testosterone. But more importantly, it refines his biological signature. Women are far more sensitive to these chemical signals than society believes. When a man conserves his energy, he carries within him an essence of inexhaustible vitality. It's not about being sweaty or aggressive. It's about the pure, vibrant, and natural scent of life force bubbling beneath the surface. It's a scent that evokes youth, truth, and health. Furthermore, semen retention influences the expression of pheromones, those invisible chemical messengers that communicate biological health. Studies suggest that women can even involuntarily detect changes in pheromones related to immunity, strength, genetic compatibility, and reproductive health. Withholding subtly reinforces these signals. While perfumes and deodorants can mask superficial odors, they cannot conceal a man's energetic signature. Women feel it viscerally. In the presence of a committed man, they can feel inexplicably more alive, more relaxed, even more feminine. Not because he's done anything, but because their very biology communicates strength, self-control, and power. Therefore, one of the most overlooked aspects of how women intuitively perceive a committed man is this subconscious scent of vitality. It transcends culture, language, and even logic. It is primordial and pure. The recognition of the soul in the plant. Finally, and most profoundly, women perceive the retention of a man's semen as a form of recognition of the soul in the plant. Withholding semen is not just a physical practice. It is a spiritual commitment. It strengthens a man's connection to his soul. Over time, one becomes more aware of the truth, more in tune with one's purpose, and more open to higher frequencies of love and wisdom. When two souls meet, especially when one vibrates at a higher resonance, a silent recognition occurs. It's like two instruments tuning to the same sacred note. Women, naturally receptive to emotional and spiritual energy, are often the first to feel this resonance. They may not logically conclude that he practices semen retention, but they do sense the spiritual weight it carries. In spiritual traditions around the world, the sacred masculine is described as the pillar, constant, compassionate, and strong. A man who practices semen retention, following a spiritual path, increasingly embodies this archetype. He holds space without trying to control. He loves without clinging. He gives without exhausting himself. This soul-to-soul recognition explains why women sometimes say things like, "There's something different about you," or "I feel at peace with you," or even simply, "I trust you." They aren't responding to your words, but to the silent song of your soul, freed from the scraps of a wasted life. So, women's deepest intuition of a restrained man isn't limited to his appearance, his scent, or even his energy. It's about recognizing a whole being, a man who has rediscovered his sacred power and stands as a symbol of divine masculinity in a fractured world, that quiet confidence that can't be manufactured. A man who practices semen retention has a quiet confidence that is impossible to achieve through external means. It is not the flashy, boisterous confidence of self-centered bravado, but a quiet certainty that emanates from deep within. This quiet confidence is perceived by women without a single word of boasting. It is a vibration that communicates my inner fullness. I don't seek validation or approval. Female intuition is particularly adept at distinguishing true confidence from compensated insecurity. A man who preserves his seed doesn't feel the need to pose or prove anything. He doesn't overcompensate because he no longer feels inferior. This natural confidence is rare, and the female subconscious adapts to it almost instantly. The beauty of this quiet confidence is that it inspires intrigue and security. Women are attracted to a man who radiates this energy because it suggests depth, not just superficial seduction. They sense that he's not putting on an act, but naturally displaying his authentic power. Moreover, this type of confidence also communicates emotional resilience. She says, "I can handle life. I can handle my life. I can handle you without losing myself." This deep certainty is far more attractive and comforting to the female psyche than any preconceived phrase or social gimmick. Thus, silent confidence becomes an invisible bridge between a reluctant man and a woman's intuition. He speaks the unspoken language of stability, integrity, and true strength. A language women are programmed to understand. Emotional restraint and its appeal. One of the profound changes semen retention induces in men is emotional restraint. Emotional restraint is not repression. It is mastering one's emotions rather than being dominated by them. Women who sense energy on a subtle level are naturally attracted to a man who can fully express his emotions while remaining calm. In a world rife with emotional instability, it's extremely rare to find a man who doesn't break down, lose his temper, and get swept away by drama. A reserved man tends to be less reactive because he has disciplined his primal impulses, and this discipline extends to his emotional world. Its mastery creates an environment of emotional security. Women subconsciously seek emotional stability, as it is linked to survival and security on a primordial level. If a man can contain his emotional storms without projecting them, it indicates that he can also adapt to feminine emotional currents, a quality essential to deep relationships and sacred union. Emotional restraint also allows the restrained man to experience passion, pain, anger, or joy without losing his balance. This enriches his emotional expressions, making them more powerful and profoundly authentic, qualities that women perceive deep within themselves and find deeply attractive. Thus, the emotional restraint cultivated by semen retention becomes another invisible, yet magnetic quality that women intuitively recognize. It invites trust, openness, and surrender, not through force but through the power of inner mastery. Vibrational resonance and feminine awakening. Another little discussed phenomenon is how the vibration of a repressed man can awaken deeper layers of feminine energy in a woman. His energetic presence acts as a catalyst, helping her feel more connected to her own intuition, sensuality, and emotional wisdom. When a man cultivates his life force through retention, his vibrational resonance becomes strong and clear. This heightened resonance subtly invites women into their own inner space. They feel more alive, more visible, more radiant in his presence. Not because he brings them anything, but because his energy creates a safe space where their natural, feminine essence can flourish. Women often describe this experience without even fully understanding it. They may say they feel more feminine with such a man, or that they feel more themselves. This is neither manipulation nor strategy. It is an energetic symbiosis. His masculine polarity, anchored in the man, automatically awakens latent or repressed aspects of femininity. This vibrational resonance also elevates the type of interactions it sparks. Conversations become more authentic, connections deeper, flirting more astute and playful, less transactional or desperate. Women respond to depth because it reflects their own hidden oceans. Therefore, semen retention is about more than what the man gets out of it. It's also about what he awakens in those who encounter him, especially women who are naturally sensitive to high-frequency, masculine energy. The aura of mystery and the unspoken invitation. A man deeply rooted in semen retention develops an aura of mystery that is almost impossible to create. This mystery comes not from concealment or imagination, but from his deep connection to something greater than the outside world, his own inner realm. Women intuitively sense when a man is in touch with mysteries beyond himself. His attention isn't fixed on superficial goals. His energy doesn't seek immediate gratification. On the contrary, he moves through life with a serene awareness that suggests unimaginable depths. This creates an unspoken invitation. There's more to discover here if you dare to look deeper. The female psyche is drawn to mystery because it reflects her own infinite nature. She is attracted and challenged by a man whose depths cannot be fully perceived in an instant. Semen retention nourishes this mystery because it prevents a man from wasting all his energy on fleeting pleasures. Instead of projecting everything outward, a man who withholds his energy directs it inward, creating layers of inner richness. Their conversations have more meaning. Their silences carry more weight. Their gaze has multiple dimensions. Women perceive them even if they cannot name them. And this awakens their imagination, their curiosity, their thirst for depth. Thus, mystery becomes another subtle signal that women perceive. It evokes uncharted emotional and spiritual landscapes. And for those ready to embark on the adventure, it is an irresistible call. Sacred masculinity and the return to the archetype. At its peak, semen retention aligns men with the archetype of sacred masculinity, a strength that women deeply recognize and aspire to, often unconsciously. Sacred masculinity is neither dominance nor submission. It is about protection, support, presence, and a deep love rooted in strength. When a man honors his seed, he honors the divine creative force within him. He respects life itself. This respect is reflected in how he treats others, moves in the world, and conducts himself. Women sensitive to this energy immediately sense the difference. He's not trying to steal. He's there to serve life, not exploit it. This return to sacred masculinity resonates deeply within the feminine soul. It evokes aspects of women who yearn to be seen, honored and appreciated, not for their usefulness or possession, but for their mere existence. A reserved man naturally embodies this reverence, for he has learned to venerate his own life force first. In ancient cultures, men embodying sacred masculinity were the protectors of the tribe, the initiators of wisdom and the keepers of mysteries. In today's modern hustle and bustle, such men are rare. Thus, a woman's intuition lights up like a beacon when she encounters one. Ultimately, semen retention isn't just a personal practice, it's a sacred offering to the world. And women, with their timeless sensitivity, sense how the silent song of sacred masculinity resurfaces in such a man. Finally, their intuition about a man who practices semen retention is deep, multifaceted, and often unconscious. It's not about manipulation, acting, or seeking validation. It's about being a man who respects his essence, who lives at his core, and who radiates authenticity. Semen retention, combined with a true spiritual journey, transforms a man into an exceptional being, a receptacle of grounded light, a source of serene strength, a bearer of sacred vitality. Women, with their intuitive genius, recognize it without explanation. They feel it. They are drawn to it. They respect it. If you are on this path, remember that every choice you make to honor your energy deepens your spiritual gravity. This makes you a blessing to those around you, even without realizing it. Remember that true magnetism is silent yet undeniable. Thank you for walking this sacred path. Stay committed. Stay sovereign. Your energy speaks louder than ever.